The poem unfolds itself. Paper birds soar through the rips in paper sky, painted with reflections of blue. Liquid mirrors you cannot see through, nor can you see your own reflection. Do the creases remain in your heart after love erases the lines that folded it neatly into a secret pocket and surrounded your beauty with a blanket of hope and fear? The hum of an all-pervasive silence pierced the song of remembering and forgetting. The story of leaving and returning slid off the pages of your unsigned heart. There was nowhere to go, no magic to find, when your heart unfolded. The folds were a treasure map you no longer needed. The treasure was never bound in ropes of tomorrow. Liquid shadows spill over the sidewalk and into the road. Street lights are flooded with cupfuls of darkness. My face is strewn with leftover stars after I fell into sky falling. Sky never really spits you out. It has no mouth to sing of its beauty. There is only your voice singing sky. I drank the sunset as it drank me. I am intoxicated with my own colors, swirling, fading into night. My eyes pour rainbows into the dream. The dream paints my eyes. There is no beginning or end to this circular thought dream that has no center nor edge. There is no point of view from which to view it. No one star in this infinite galaxy of wonderment. All is starlight dancing. Time leaves no fingerprint in your mind. She has no hands nor arms to grasp you. You try to manipulate her arms, push yourself out of her embrace, and find you are inseparable from this stream of words, of thought, of what has no substance or place or time. There is no running away from this dream, dreaming you. I felt I was running in place for decades and decades, a treadmill of hope and fear. I was the effort to climb a mountain that did not exist. All this trying seemed to form my feet and a body, running desperately uphill, looking under every rock and in every crevice, peering into every mountain flower, trying to catch the magic in every stream, looking for a knowing that would erase the uncertainty that felt so painful. I was the looking for what I knew not. Surely, if I knew what I was looking for, there would be no need to look. There would be utter rest. Somehow the mind relaxes into this delicious unknowing, and there is no more searching for imaginary things. As it is known, there are no things at all. Yet I seem to appear as this singing of what cannot be kissed with songs. I am the longing to pierce your heart with this unfathomable beauty. I call it love, this wondrousness of knowing I exist only in this world of time and space. This running commentary is my home. This is where love and beauty emerge. This is the magic I was seeking. It was always here. I never left the dream. No one can. We seem to appear in this love light that is not yours or mine. Stars begin to spin as our galaxies attract one another. Whirling in each other's proximity, we dance in this empty, measureless vastness. We are empty arms of light reaching for an embrace that can never happen. As light falls through light, we can never touch. Words seem to create a wind that swirls across this desert without selves, without love, without beauty. Waterfalls of love seem to slacken our unending thirst, knowing that we are this mirage of water and a desert. And someone who would kneel down and cup her hands and drink deeply this dream of dark and light, swallowed her and spit her out into a dream of unfathomable love, dreaming itself. And the ground collapses as the waters sink into the sand. Droplets of shimmering diamonds are these stars that lost their center and have no eyes to shine in. No heart can hold a compass that can no longer find anything called love. Yet I call this love, this singing that seems to sing me, sing you, into a lover's dance, where we appear only in this embrace, our arms, our hands, our words, our hearts fall through each other. As the words dissolve, the poem ends, just like this. I remember the last belief to go was the idea that this could be shared, which was the death of belief, even a thin one, of others, hence the never giving of satsangs. And yet songs flow, like breathing, like the wind, thought streaming as before, but hugely different. No more constant self-judgment and self-correction. The end of shoulds for myself or others or the world. No more reaching for tomorrows or happiness. Words, reaching. To lasso the wind takes only a word, but many words are required to hold the wind and your cheek together. To paint a photograph, this song, this love song that sings itself. To build this castle of wind that is constantly collapsing, tattered wind songs dissolving into sky. And these strings of words written for no one, for everyone. These stories that we are, when shared, seem to anoint us, to touch us, to pierce us deeply. We are the sharing of stories of our humanness, of deep, deep grief and sorrow and unbearable joy and awe. We arise in this call and answer love song. It is a love that calls and answers itself. Love is the centerless jewel that spins into the dream when we meet, when we touch, when we sing nakedly with words, without words, when our eyes meet, just like this infinite dream of love dreams itself. And what of stars, and what of rainbows, and what of blood drying on the pavement? What is the sound of moonlight streaming through the lace of midnight? We all know this magic, whether it seems to be separate from you, or inside you, or beyond all definitions of inside and outside. Life seems to magically appear. No one has the key, the ticket. There is no door to life or love. Infinite colors of sorrow and joy play through your mind stream. Paint the morning with bird song as the moon disappears into a pocket of memory, that painted moonlight on your beautiful face. There is no path to life, no one to arrive, no special place or time other than this vast intimacy of life flowing through you as you. No words can capture life or love, yet they paint the wind streaming down the canyon, and this undeniable magic that has no words, that is all words. Wordless we sing, footless we dance and fall in love. We are the conditioning. There is no one underneath it, no one to be broken or mended, no imperfection nor perfection, yet. This dream of you and me and we is subsumed in a love that erases all imaginary lines. You can feel it. You know this magic. Everyone does. And sometimes it feels closer and it's noticed more often, or further, perhaps seemingly forgotten, but it cannot be remembered or forgotten. It is the forgetting and remembering itself. It really cannot be captured or held or described. It is the describing itself. It is the words themselves. It flows in, as, and through all imaginary things, as it is the imagining itself. And we seem to emerge in, and are, this unfathomable dream of love dreaming itself. Forest of night is eclipsed by dawn. Silence. Slow crescendo of wind in wind. Waltz of trees and sky. Lace of inline and outline flows through you, and you dissolve, along with the imaginary walls between you and sky. Thought is dawn, sweeping across the imaginary canyon, creating light and shadow, and caressing all things into the daytime dream. Enlightenment is the dream of love, sweeping through the dream of separation and erasing all things, time, dimension, direction, movement, measurement, all this and that, even love. Yet love caresses you into her dream, not separate from all dreams. And we dance in this imaginary canyon of infinite wonderment. We are this dream of love dreaming itself. Love is the light that erases all shadows. It is the fire that consumes all light. It is the conflagration that burns even itself. The mind is a waterfall of words, skimming across pools of liquid shadows. Memories paint the daydream with echoes. Mirages stream through a colorland fantasy of time and space and nothing at all. One leaf slowly drifts through mountain air, softly pours into its reflection on a shimmering stream. Light dances in a water ballet of light. There is no one or thing underneath the thought dream, no one to manipulate it or flow with it. A cascade of dreams pouring into and through itself, seemingly creating things like thought and movement, simultaneously self-arising and self-erasing. I am this flowing description. Thought seems to take its place in the symphony of perception. There is no one left to read it. River of life flows at does, spontaneously, naturally, all by itself. I am a wind song sculpted by wind, cast adrift in a sea of shimmering light. Water tales of breathing water, echoes streaming across an ocean of infinite reflections that have no source or shadow or light. Love songs have no anchor or rudder to guide them. They are your sails blooming. As you swoon into the wind, you are carried by love's echo. She sang your name long ago. It was wind and ocean and sky that swallowed you as soon as you heard her voice. But it was always your voice, softly riding the wind, soaring through you, the breath of love caressing you, this love song that sings you, that you are. The wind has gone camping again. She sings with her echo in the palace of pines. I love you, I am the missing of you. Sea foam clouds drift through sapphire skies, through your eyes, through these words. Worlds drift through your mind stream. There is no script, no one to read it, no words to slide off, no pages to dissolve into sky. No sky. Words of love are only words. What is love? What are words? What is in the word sky? What words could be true or false, when true and false are words? Twisting, turning swirls of golden gently brush evening across your face and into your eyes. Whirlwind settles softly into its own breath. The universe pours through thought, thought pours through the universe. Words crochet a fabric of sound and light, and shadows sliding down the mountain, pouring night into her empty dress and starlight in your eyes. It is your naked eyes I long to kiss, for it is only in our reflections we seem to arise. We become the shimmering in between the walls of a deep, deep canyon. We can never cross. There are no sides. Thought dreams us. Words as thick as thought paint our imaginary lines, without which we don't exist. There never was a mountain or anyone to climb it. Yet here we are, walking through fields of flowing. We are waves of meadow wind, caressing our tenderness as we gently, gently fall in love. Wind has no empty pages to fill. Life sings itself. The stream of love has no dreamer. There are only songs singing this universe. Poems unravel, and not even darkness remains. Many believe that enlightenment is the magical disappearance of you, but you never were. Nor was there a sky sprinkled with stars, nor devastatingly beautiful colors of sunset. No colors are painted without thought. All is thought. Thought is thought. There is a palpable psychological and physical release, but who or what feels this when even feeling is an idea written by thought? The dream dreams itself, simultaneously appearing and dissolving into itself. So what exists if even illusion is illusion? There was never a sky to swallow you, or wind to blow through you. There was never anything called love. There were never any things at all. Spring and summer unfold with their blossoms. Autumn brings its windy golden leaves. Winter sings its long, dark nights. And you remain loving the beauty of the seasons, the fullness and emptiness of love, no longer looking for meaning or truth or any solidity at all, simply loving the love of it all. The big wow is the knowing that there are no things or non-things, yet all and everything seem to appear. Let us shine in each other's love light and bathe in each other's colors. Sunset looms, and it is beautiful. This imaginary character does not prefer to use non-dual speak with friends and family. She never says, "there is no time" or "non-time," when apparent others say things like, "I'll see you tomorrow," and certainly she never would say, "there is no you or me to meet." When friends say that they are trying to keep up hope, she never says, "there is no next." When someone dies, she never says that that person did not exist. When someone says, "I love you," she would never say, "neither you nor I nor love exist." This Echo-land dream ballet dancer rarely speaks of this, as who actually would care that there are no things or non-things? Most dreamlings see the beauty of the natural world, but not of thought and feeling. No one wants to hear about how unutterably wondrous it all seems to another. If you want to be in the now, I won't say a thing, even though it's obvious that there is no now and no one to be in it or out of it. If you want to examine your thoughts to see if they are true, I never say anything, even though it's utterly apparent that there is no one underneath or outside of thought who can examine or manipulate it, as the idea of thought as well as a thinker is created by thought. So if we are talking and you want this crammed down your throat, you must tell me. But it won't do any good. There is no good or bad, no prize called enlightenment waiting for you, no one who has a magic key. There is no door, nor an other side. There are no sides. There is no middle. As long as you are the belief in an other, better, more, or next, you will be the looking for them. You may look and see that there is no other, better, more, or next, and yet the belief remains, as you are that belief. Who would want to erase themselves? Don't worry, you are a flowing thought dream like me, as real as tomorrow, and love, and enlightenment. You can't erase yourself, you simply do not exist. All there is thought, painting light and dark and color and form and things like thought, and movement. Thought paints itself. How deep, how thick is thought? How thick is the word thick? How deep is the word deep? We are mental fabrications. How wondrous the dream of all and everything magically self-arises and self-erases simultaneously, without effort or non-effort, yet includes things like effort and ease. And these very words are the dream, sliding through the mind stream that was never yours or mine. How marvelous this life, just as it seems to appear. How sublime this love. I know that this shift in perspective is uncaused. There are no separate events, no separate moments, no cause and effect, and it does not happen to the imaginary persona. No one will ever get this. There is really nothing to get. Nothing to learn by repetition, or gain or lose by methods and practices, and that all this trying will only perpetuate the illusion of separation. This is more like a ripping and shredding of the very fabric of your life, of a you to have a life. Here it felt like dying, this psychological evisceration, like being skinned alive and finding no one under the skin. I would never wish this pain upon another. For I have seen many go through this utter devastation and not fall all the way. They adopt the skin of a philosophy or spirituality or religion and pooh-pooh the things I describe as impossible. Yet I remember their tears when they had a glimpse, as I was weeping too. Non-dual speak can never convey this love that seems to appear after love dies. The imaginary center exploded, and all that love I tried so hard to hold on to bled into the dream. And the watercolor passion play continues to dream itself. No one lost and no one won in the war of emptiness versus fullness. Anything said about the dream is the dream painting itself. Oh my, the sun is rising through the pines. The moment you appeared in this dreamscape, the world was shattered into infinite pieces, and you have been desperately trying to put them together ever since the trying has defined you. You are the feeling of brokenness, looking for imaginary things called wholeness, happiness, love, for anything that will complete you. It feels like you are one half of a kiss, standing on the edge of a bottomless canyon, calling, calling, and hearing only your echo, your own voice, your breath, your heartbeat, the wind. It feels like you are utterly alone, and you are. You exist only in this dream of separation. There is no outside to the dream, as inside and outside, like all this and that, and you, are mental fabrications. Yet the horizon may untie itself, as the canyon and sky and ground and all things collapse into meaningless sounds. All your love letters are returned, unopened, sealed with a kiss, the kiss of your own demise. The paper dissolves, your world crumbles, along with the hands and the heart that longed for wings to fly. Wind soars through its own echo, sky slides through its reflection, sound falls through its own vibration. This hush between words evaporates, you fall through your own kiss, as all things disappear, even silence. This utter devastation brings an unassailable peace of no longer believing or feeling imaginary separation, and you discover that although no things actually exist, all and everything still seem to appear. The dream of enlightenment is still the dream. You cannot exist as a non-self. You are a fairy tale persona in this watercolor passion play painted by thought, rainbows sailing in an ocean of color, constantly dissolving and reappearing, always the first and last kiss. This sublime peace remains. It feels like love has supersaturated the dream with its own ungraspable flavor. This cannot be described, as all words are knives, stories writing themselves, the dream dreaming itself. And you are forever suspended in a delicious unknowing, in a constant state of utter wonderment, such unstoppable joy and awe of simply being, in love with the love of it all. I see you on the edge of the canyon, swaying to a music only you can hear. We can never touch, but we can share our stories and marvel at our beautiful humanness. And in this sharing we can catch a glimpse of our own fathomless beauty. We simply do not exist without each other's love light. We are liquid mirrors dancing, echoes across the canyon, love's songs soaring, like this. Morning streams into our palace of pines and red castles crumbling. Thought paints a chorus of echoes that seem to create a me in the center of the dream, but the center is empty, as well as the castles, and colors emerging in the sun. How beautiful that we do not know what beauty is. How wondrous that we cannot know what love is. How spectacular that we cannot know what anything is, as there are none. Just this thought stream chattering away all by itself. Flowing description is all we can know, yet the knowing is imaginary, as we are concepts also. We are a whirlwind of thought, splashing through its own echo, memory sailing in a choir of dream voices, never ours, never not ours. Putting your hand in the river to feel the wetness you cannot see, you cannot touch light, but your eyes soar through moonlight shimmering on the water. Where are the walls between you and the moon? Can you touch them? Where is the edge of love? Tracing the lines and loops of words, poems seem to begin and end. Stretch out letters into a ribbon of sound. Tie up the song with a bow. 2 loops and 2 ends. Pull one and the song disappears. Doesn't matter which. Pull a loop and a knot appears. What is inside the knot? Can life be contained with words? What is life without words? Is life a word? Does it have a meaning outside of other words? Isn't meaning a word? Isn't love a word? Who left these fingerprints on the mirror? Who saw through the empty glass, empty of an other side? Was there ever a hand? Was there ever a face? Was there ever someone looking? Words slide off the paper of an unsigned letter, pour through figures at dusk, dancing, as night unfolds her wings. The dream of love flies out of your secret pockets. She leaves your signature in every footfall, but your name begins to fade. It becomes just more loops and lines, like the apostrophes and commas of fallen pine needles. Once they held the sky and the tops of trees. Now they hold nothing. There is nothing to hold, no fingerprints, no signature, no yesterday to gather sky, no tomorrow when we will dance. Fallen shadows blossom. The story unravels as it crochets itself with every word. Water evaporates. So do tears. Naked, fierce love pierced me, ripped apart time and space, consumed all the air and my breath, leaving not even a vacuum. Ruthlessly love devoured the ground upon which I stood, and my feet. She razed their very ground of being, all shadow and light, all sound and silence. Can sound exist without translation? Or is the word sound simply an assumption of knowing, this unknowable, infinite symphony of perception? Open your mouth and birds fly out, words with wings that seem to be heard across the canyon, but are only feathers in the wind, circling softly back to you. Love letters unopened, never written, never sent. A lasso made of wind seems to create a circle of wind. But I know wind, you may insist. Do you? All your knowing is only more description, thought seemingly circling around an empty center, spinning a dream of things like wind, and your beautiful tenderness and your tears. Only in this imaginary dance of two-ness is there wind and tears and soft cheeks drying, words and music and love songs, deep kisses and laughter floating across the moonlit dawn. Is there a wordless essence beyond these words, a wonderland of emptiness without emptiness? There is no center to a word. These lines are filled with spaces. There is no bare root or meaning to any word. Each word is naked, like a note, lost in itself, and we are its overtones. As we are the color and sound of words, pouring through the shades and timbre of memory, floating through this poem, we are these very words streaming through our eyes. Thought is a dream song singing itself. You cannot get stuck in words. There is no you outside of thought. We are linguistic paintings, an infinite dream world where watercolor paintings dissolve into their own colors, a river of song soaring through rainbows. We are arcs of scintillating light, requiring imaginary separation to be seen, to be heard, and to love. Yellow finches and ring-necked doves at the feeders, sun slides across the grasses, slowly, gently. Waves of shine and shadow have no rhythm, yet they are rhythm themselves. Ocean of light pours through me. I am this ocean song of wind and light and vast, untamed seas, where there is no sound or silence, no stillness nor movement, nor anyone to sing. Spiderwebs strung like Christmas lights across the garden seem to gather space into a gift of light, suspended as the hush, the breath of shimmering, bathing in its own ungraspable beauty. I swim through the softness of morning, roar of the garbage truck growling down the street. Wind soars down the canyon, skipping sunlight across the waters. My reflection disappears into the shimmering, and I am neither lost nor found. There is just the singing of echoes, reflections dancing. No one can read the calligraphy of cloud shadows racing down the street. There is no need to decipher love or to hold starlight to know its beauty. You turn around and cannot find the past, only an empty street where no one wandered. You spin and cannot find tomorrow. There is no sign that cannot be read. It's all words. They contain no meaning or non-meaning. There is no direction in a spinning sea of echoes. You drown in your own reflection. After the deluge, the sun rises from your chest, leaving a vast, measureless emptiness and shadows of forgotten melodies drifting down the streets, pooling in the gutters where fallen leaves and blossoms gather. Ancient stars pour through your hands, your tongue, your heart made of starlight. Without words, there is no center or edge to this song of life, singing starlight into your eyes, pouring our reflections into love's burning echo. Wind dances and does not leave her footprints. Is it her smile upon your face? Does she long to dry your tears or caress your softness? Or are you the longing to dance with wind? Spinning into ourselves, looking for a center, not even nothing can be found. We find we are simply a pirouette of wind in wind. We are wind's echo. We find ourselves in the resonance of each other's reflection. We are liquid mirrors soaring through the daydream of love. Water flows, disappears into its own wetness. Wind slides into its own movement. And love, well, love is in the loving. River of love requires imaginary sides, but it seems to overflow its banks, saturate all and everything with an indescribable brilliance. You are the eyes of love, the light of the universe, caressing all and everything into existence. Without you there is no water, no wetness, no wind, no love. And you are my heart song echoing in the trees and mountains and deep, deep canyons that we can never cross. We exist only as echoes of echoes, and there is no more looking for the beginning or the end of the wind that soars across the great divide. There is just the wind, dancing with wind. We magically appear in the dancing. Only in each other's love light is there this resonance, this sourceless echo. Without the stream of reflections, there is not even darkness. There is no outside. There are no sides. We seem to be the dancers to unseen music, a music that relies on separate notes and gaps, and soft eyes and ears and tender, squishy bodies. I am the loving of you and the missing of you. Gently, gently, wind caresses you from the inside out, and you are the wind's caress. Wind-swirled shadows adorn my feet, unravels me, weaves me, wind dances through me, I am the wind dancing. Somehow the dream of infinite shadows fell through a dream of infinite mirrors and dissolved into this dream of infinite love. Heart sings and there is no answer, only an echo, burning in the marrow of love. Utterly alone we do not exist, only in this imaginary space, in between sound and silence, in between light and dark. In between echoes, our hearts mouth the words, and we are love's breath resonating. Love is the dance in between everything and nothing, in between never and forever. We are bathed in cricket song and the surround sound of moon. I am these words that paint my silhouette, empty of light, empty of shadow, twirling down the wet sidewalk, dancing with my own reflection. But there is no one here nor there. There is no here nor there, nor in between. Mirror of moon has no other side. Wind howls across the long desert moon. It is your love song that cuts you to the core. You watch all your most intimate secrets, the very heart of you, a silhouette of echoes, dissolve. What is the sound of dew evaporating in the morning sun? What is the song of tears dissolving into their own wetness? Sorrow evaporating into its own beautiful melancholy. Memories slide through the thought stream, leaving no echo to beat your heart, nor signature on the window, as even transparency loses its solidity. What happens when words like sound and silence lose their meaning? When even truth and meaning lose their grip on the dream? When footprints gather fallen blossoms, and past and future are crushed into the flavor of your own utter aloneness? Wind falls through its own breath, colors swirl under your feet, the ground dissolves. There is no one left to lose their footing, no hands to grasp the air. Air and space are sucked into their own breath. The wind breathes you once again into the dance. There are no words left to describe the absence of all and everything, and the fullness of it all. This magically appearing and disappearing scintillating dream, and the overwhelming love of it all.